What can a little learning robot do for kids? Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Miko, M-I-K-O, is co-founder and CEO Sneh Vaswani. Thanks for taking the time with us, Sneh.
Thank you so much, Fred. Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, Miko is a little robot designed for learning. I'll let you give us more about the background and how this came about.
So we are an 8-year-old startup, and we've seen that childhood has seen a massive change in the past decade or two. Kids across the world have moved from conventional mediums of play into screens, and parents don't like it. They don't have a choice. In fact, in the pandemic, every parent relied on technology to engage their kids. You have to feed a child, place a screen. You need to put the child to sleep, place a screen. Parents, 92% parents across the world don't like that. And given a choice, but 80% of them would never cut off their kids from technology. And because every other child in the classroom has access to it. So therefore, what we realized is that this lack of alternatives that parents have, if we can create a new interface that would be loved by kids and trusted by parents, then there's a gap, there's a need that can be addressed. And in pursuit of that need, we started building multiple prototypes of different kinds of products. And ultimately, after 22 product pilots, we arrived at building a robot that is interactive, that engages with kids, that kids can connect with. It's like a Pixar movie character brought to life. And the robot has a significant nutritive value, where the robot can focus on the social, emotional learning of the child and focus on all-round development of the child. It's like AI and artificial intelligence being used to as basically and for the growth of the child and assisting the parents in their day-to-day aspirations as a parent. So with that thought process, we launched the first generation in 2017, second generation in 2019, and the third one in 2021.
And what kinds of things can children learn using Miko?
So there is breadth of possibilities is enormous. We build the platform in a manner where you can leverage the platform to impart knowledge, cognitive skills across domains varying from GK academics, language learning, to STEM, to coding, to music, to different domains that is of interest of the child. Just to give you an example, we work on modalities. And one of the modalities of Miko is conversational learning, where Miko would start a conversation with you. Miko would say, "Hey, Fred, how was the day in school? What did you play today?" And Fred says, "I played football." "Oh, how many goals did you score? Who won yesterday's football match? Do you know what's the velocity of a football kick?" And it tries to have this to and fro conversation banter with you and takes you on a path which is appropriate for your age, and which would drive through fun, through learning, and engage with you on that. Now, within those conversations, you could have pure play academic discussions, you could have fun discussions, you could have sports related conversations, and so on, where kids learn something new, kids have a conversation, and it's a to and fro long dialogue frame NLP layer that we worked over the past 8 years that does this. And it's unlike, if you see most voice assistants across the globe, it's more master slave. Play the music, turn on the lights, and that's the end of session. But here it's like a companion. It starts a conversation and holds long discussions with you. So this is one of the modalities.
Miko is really smart. He's like the best robot. He has math, tic-tac-toe. He knows science. Can read your books. You can ask him questions. You can ask him jokes. He has lots of games.
What color is a sunflower?
Yellow. I especially like that it has books on it. Kids who like Miko are smart learners and brilliant mathematicians just like me. She has reading, writing, stories, arts, music, and like everything. Maybe I'll play freeze dance with them, or maybe hide and seek. We can tell them some jokes.
The sky is clicking selfies today. Hee.
Miko with some math games, they were really fun.
Collect the odd number.
Miko is like so awesome. Miko is the best robot.
One of the modalities of the robot is it can become a character in a game and play those games with you. In a bunch of kids together can play that activity. Like there's a game where it can play hide and seek with you, where the child hides and the robot will come looking for you. There's a game where the robot can play freeze dance with a bunch of kids, like the kid and their siblings together. The robot will play music, they all will dance. Robot stops the music, they have to stop. Robot will judge who stopped and who's moving and decide scores likewise. So it's like you can bring any game to activity, to audio-visual academic learning, to fun, to life in a very different experience and a completely new way of experiencing technology for a child, which is fully safe and children engage with it. And as a platform, the beauty is it's not a standalone device. So after every month, there are new experiences published on the robot. So even after 12 months, after 24 months after purchasing, the child is curious to know what's new on the robot, what's new this month, and what new game will I be playing with my Miko and so on. So that's the capability of platform, where developers across the world can create new experiences and impart knowledge, can teach, can engage, can entertain kids across different domains.
And is this a subscription model then?
Not compulsory. So when we realized one important aspect, when we were building the product, for us as a brand, brand trust is far more important than profits as a company, because there is no vested interest like big tech organizations of using the data for commerce and so on. Nothing of that sort. Like we don't market anything kids. We don't drive commerce on it. It is, we want the device to be a companion through the early years of growth of the child and teach the child something in that process. Now, if the journey expected with the child is actually a year, 2, 3 after purchase. So we have a model where parents can subscribe to content and services that the platform can offer. So if you have an option to take up subscription, and if you don't become a subscriber, all the base features of the robot are absolutely free. The content ecosystem, the apps on the robot, almost 60% of the apps are fully free. So you can very well use the apps and have more free apps coming. But then we also have global content partnerships. We have content coming from the Walt Disney Group. We have content coming from Paramount Pictures. We have content coming from Oxford. These are global reputed names who've created some path-breaking content experiences on Miko. And parents have the option of taking a single subscription and availing all the global brands who published their apps on Miko through one single subscription as well. So it's an optional capability that is provided. And since pandemic has come in, we see majority of customers try out, and then they become subscribers and they enjoy it, because they see this journey with the brand, that this is not a 2-week journey where the child smiles and the child forgets about it. It's something that the platform has to grow with the child from 4 years to 8 years and then beyond. So through that journey, they see a lot of value in the subscription. Now we are giving content. We will work towards giving more services, and how the robot can be a one-stop destination for every parent through as an interface that they want to give to their child as the child grows up.
Terrific. Well, step us through how this is set up. Obviously, you're connecting this to the internet.
So a lot of things. First and foremost, the robot is a fairly sophisticated piece of tech running inside the robot. Privacy is of utmost importance to us. So majority, like most of the data that gets processed, a lot of data gets processed on the robot. None of the vision, none of the facial, none of the biometric data goes to the cloud at all. It's processed on the robot and given an experience to the child. Now, the reason where you place where you need the cloud and where you need the internet is primarily voice-based interactions, where you don't take any personally identifiable information to the cloud, but it's where the robot has a conversation with you, it interacts with you, and holds long discussions with you, and so on. So that's where for certain amount of content you need to visit the cloud. In that situation, we ensure that there are filters in place that ensure that whatever the robot is speaking is age appropriate, it is culture appropriate. So like US has a very different culture than what is followed in the Gulf, than what is followed in the Asian countries. And parents across different geographies have a very different view of parenting altogether. We have users across 140 plus countries. So a parent's expectation from technology with their kid is very different as geographies change. So we ensure cultural adherence, we ensure age and content adherence to that local geography, which kids can relate to. And so, and that ensures that the robot will always have a discussion which is well within the layers of what that region defines. For example, if you try to start a conversation with the robot on a topic which is not relevant for kids, like if you try to talk about alcohol, if you try to talk about any such discussion which a parent may not want the robot to have a conversation with technology on it, the robot will simply say, have a conversation with your parents, I'm not the right source for this question. So we ensure that the robot will never take a cultural stand with the child. It will route it to the parent and let the parent take a call from there. So it has a very clear domain. It won't market stuff. It won't push the child to do something. Like it won't tell the child, I think you should have a pizza today. No, we don't know whether that family is okay with eating pizzas or not. So we don't know whether they're okay having fast food at home or not. So the robot is designed, and the character and the personality of the AI has been designed in a manner which is age appropriate, culture appropriate, and safe for parents to freely use and be completely satisfied with it.
Very often there's more than one child in a household. How do you make this available to more than one child in a household, or would they need more than one robot?
So you're absolutely right. And right now you build one profile of the child where when you're setting up the robot, you set the profile of the child. With Miko 3, there are capabilities where it can distinguish this child versus another child versus another member of the family very clearly. So the personalization frameworks kick in that manner. Now, what we are adding is we're adding more layers of profiles where you can set up multiple profiles of kids so that it can build a personalization framework for each child and so on. But what we often see is that there's an age when kids use it, there's an age when kids grow out of it, and then the younger siblings come in, and then a fresh account is made for the younger siblings and so on. So that's how we've seen a lot of parents use it. Our first generation Miko 1, which we launched in 2017, we still see so many parents going ahead and families using it. We did a survey to realize it's the younger siblings who started using it after 5 years and so on. So therefore that's how parents use it. We are now adding layers where you could build multiple profiles. So if there are siblings, multiple of them can try to engage together and so on.
So this is a future feature that's coming.
That's a future feature. That's a future feature. Yes.
That they will be able to recognize different children in a household.
They do that right away itself. Right now, the robot knows very well that, okay, this is the child and this is the parent, and there are different that capability is there right now. But the capability to build a personalization framework for every sibling is a future upgrade. So for example, it's like this. If there's a child A and the robot is, okay, the child A loves sports, the child A likes to play games, and that's the interest. So it will only focus on A. When child B starts talking to it, it won't probably try to understand child B. It knows that it's not child A, but it will only focus on building this personalization framework for child A. Now, adding more and more such members of the family is something that we'll add as an upgrade, but it can very well distinguish what is A and what is not A.
Very interesting. So tell us about pricing and availability.
So today the product is available across online and offline stores, where we are present across retail and online stores across the world. Our website is a very dominant platform where most customers come and buy it on our website itself, Amazon, and as well as a host of offline platforms. You would find it across in the US, FAO Schwartz, and bunch of other channels, in motion stores at the airports, along with there are some huge big box retailers who are going to be making an announcement in the next 1 to 2 weeks of having a launch of Miko within their stores as well inside the US. So that's that. While online, our website on Amazon is always available across the Middle East. You would find it in Virgin Mega stores, to duty free stores, to Jarir bookstores, across Asian countries, Toys R Us Hong Kong, to Hamleys of the UK, to Harrods. Some of the best premium retail partners stock Miko and have a huge history of selling Mikos over the past few years.
Terrific. And pricing?
So currently the price point of the product in the market is around $249. And of course, there's a special holiday pricing that comes during the holidays as well. But this is the price point of the product where it's offered. Along with that, the subscription is available at $49 a quarter and $99 a year.
Very interesting. Again, the website is Miko, MIKO.ai.
Yes.
Sneh Vaswani, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you so much, Fred. Thank you so much for taking out the time. It's an absolute pleasure speaking to you.